Alright folks, that's a 2019 Ford Flex. It's got the big 3.5 in it, I assume. I could be wrong on that, but I know it's loud. And lady says it's too loud for her. I think it sounds pretty cool, but the flex pipe's broke. And the only way to buy that from Ford is buy the whole front pipe assembly. We're gonna see if we can't just weld in a new flex joint. The only odd thing is here is this front pipe, it isn't round. It was at some point, but it's kind of like they do on the Nissans which I don't understand because there's a lot of clearance under here, but they flatten this thing right out and it still remains kind of flat as it comes up in here. So we're gonna cut it off and see what we have to play with. I mean, it's already broke. We really can't make it any worse. Kind of, technically. We could, let's be honest. Well, here we go. We're gonna cut probably just behind this weld, I guess. I should probably see if I have a blade that's a little bit duller than this one. I cut through a fair amount of the actual weld itself. So we're going to have to grind that up a little bit because it's kind of seamed up the side here. Well, let's chop it off right tight here. Before we get all the comments, I do understand that this will cut better if we're right against the tool rest. However, I also understand that the blade out of this portion is way sharper, so if I hold it back. Anyways, before you put that in there, I get it. I get what you're saying. Let's see what we have here to fill in the gap. So this is a 2 1/4 inch pipe, or at least on this end I don't know what they started with originally and then deformed it. I got us a 2 1/2 inch flex, which it doesn't quite fit over here yet, but if we deform it, it will. However, it's gonna be a little big on this end. So I think what we might do is expand. I guess one thing we could do is we could replace this pipe where it goes in the muffler, but if we don't fill it with it, we won't. I think we'll expand this out a little bit. We'll deform this a little bit with a hammer, or you just stick it in the vise and squish it a little. And then I think that'll fit over there. We'll be able to weld that all the way around. And then we'll expand this a little bit to, you know, fit in here, and it will be good. And then the thing is, if this ever rots out again, by the time this does, it's a 2019, probably the rest of the exhaust will be rotted off. So it won't really matter because then you can replace the front pipe, which only goes into here into the muffler. So it's not a big deal. Let me go deform this end a little bit. So I flattened the pipe out a little bit, but we left this big booger of weld on there that we cut through with the sawzall. So let's just take and see if we can't get that off. Want to make some shiny spots for the welder, and you can see, well, maybe you can't see, but you know, deform that end a little bit. I think it might be too much, but oh no, it's perfect. And then if we stick that over there, boom. And then, like I say, we can fatten up this end just slightly. I mean, with a MIG welder, you could easily fill that gap, and there's going to be a little gap up here in the front. But that's what I say we do. I'm going to cut a little bit of this nub off here, one side or the other. I'll probably cut this end off a little bit, to be honest with you. And then we may not flare that. I've got a cone that we can stick on there that we can slightly reduce it, I think. There we go. Because how long is this baby? How long is it, baby? Yeah, I'm gonna chop a 1/2 inch off that. get this a little bit closer. Alright, just stuck it on there. There, it's stuck. I put a little pressure on it. Maybe get a bigger hammer, dude. Let's see, there we go. Okay. Yeah, we probably can be cool about it and flare this up a little bit. Let me get a pipe expander. We'll flare that up just a little, just to take up that space. I don't feel like cutting the mount and all that stuff off, and it's getting to the stupid level at that point. So I might cut just a little bit off this side too, and that'll give us that little extra room back here. We'll get it right on the edge, fry it on there with the welder, and I think we'll be good. Well, I get too carried away there. Okay, we can go a little bit more. There we go. That's close enough. We can easily weld that. We could go a little bit more. I don't want to risk, sometimes mess with these old rusty pipes, you'll risk splitting a pipe. We could probably take it a little bit more. Let's live dangerously. Yeah, I think all we did is we went a little deeper. We didn't get it any wider. That's where it's staying, whether it's right or wrong. Oh, you mother lover, you didn't go too big, did you? Nope. No, sir. Before you stick it on there, I'm going to shine it up a little bit so it's a little easier to weld. And then we'll do what we do. We're not sending it to the moon, so let me get a little more of this sticker off here. I ground a little bit of it off, but yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, like a glove. Look at that. Like I have a go at that filly. We've got a place here for our ground wire to clamp on with the welder. These vice grips usually work really well. Give that a little squeeze. And let's go get it's Miller time. We'll give that a little tap. Before we get started, as you know, I'm not a professional welder. I'm not going to make one continuous 360-degree bead. This is not the gas line, the pipeline. I don't work for the local union. And it's not structural, and we're not sending it to the moon. So I should clarify everything. But anyways, leave your professional comments in the comment section. Oh, I missed some. Oh, the thunder, did I miss that? I missed a little bit. Let me move you guys. Well, good thing it's not the space shuttle. Because you would all just died. Look at that bird turd in there now, boys. Yes, sir. We're going to the moon now, baby. That's it, we're done. Show's over, folks. We just gotta make sure it sounds cool. Of course, I thought it sounded cool when she brought it in. Let's see if it sounds cool now. Sounds pretty quiet. There she is. I think squishing that pipe down worked pretty good. You can see it kind of undercut some of the welds there, but I think this, like I say, I think this will last as long as the rest of the pipe does. You know what I mean? It's no work of art, but eventually this will rust out right here in the middle. That crotch will rust out of these like they always do. Not on these cars like in particular, but anytime an auto manufacturer has this design, GM or Ford, it will always rot out right here, right in the crotch. It gets the old crotch rot, I call it. And then in that case, then you buy this pipe from Ford, and you know, it comes all the way up to here. So us expanding that, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. This is way cheaper than, you know, this whole deal. And chances are when that front rots out, it'll probably rot out right back here too. You can see she's already got a whole factory defect in that weld. So that'll get all rotted out. And then of course it'll rot out, you know, where it goes into the back of the mufflers, or the seam of the muffler there will rot out. So 19, so yeah, a couple more years it'll be junk. There you go, folks. Fixing your flexi. There you have it, folks. Putting a flex on your flex. How ironic, right? Pretty disappointing to see the exhaust on these. It's pretty well crap. Most OEMs, most, not all, have, you know, much better pipe than what this car seems to have on it. I mean, the pipe that's on this car looks like it's aftermarket. You know, looks like it's, you know, Walker, you know, last couple of years, and throw it in the trash, which is kind of weird. But it's not. It's all OEM. It's just, you know, cheap quality. So I guess that's it. These things are super handy to have around. If you go on Walker's website, they have a PDF file of all of their different lengths and sizes and dimensions, and with or without, you know, weld on ends. And they're handy to have around, but they're nothing like the quality of a decent OEM, not this one in particular. These will last a couple of years, and then they're junk, pretty much like all the rest of their exhaust systems. So, which is kind of disappointing because we don't have a lot of choices as far as what we can get in exhaust parts. We can get OEM if it's available, but it is 2023, so everything is still unprecedented, back order, you know, you just can't get it, so it's kind of a pain. You can get Walker or some other stuff that we've seen like on Rock Auto, some other no-name brands you've never heard of, and there's not a lot of, like, you know, stainless options or high quality options for, you know, daily driver type passenger cars. So we just do what we do. We do the best we can with what we have. And why don't you do the best you can, leaving a comment in that comment section. Questions, comments, the Facebook. Just my viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.